And Maduro's capture has led to millions of online searches. Millions are looking for answers to everything from the legality of the operation to questions about Venezuela's oil reserves. ABC contributor and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Mick Mulroy, is here with answers to some of the most popular searches on the issues. Hi, Mick. So let's start with this question getting an overwhelming number of searches. Is what President Trump did in Venezuela legal?
So, Diane, certainly a valid question. From the U.S. perspective, they focus on the fact it was a law enforcement operation and Maduro had been indicted since 2020 as a drug trafficker, and pointing at the previous U.S. operation that apprehended Manuel Noriega back in the 1990s in Panama as an example for why, and a precedent for why this is legal. But it's important to point out there was different facts back then. The U.S. had a treaty obligation to defend the canal, and the U.S. had U.S. military personnel who had already been under threat in Panama. So there was this imminent threat component to the Panama operation that would make this a bit different. But from the U.S. perspective, this is a law enforcement operation, and that's why they believe this is legal under U.S. and international law.
A lot of people are also asking what's happening in Venezuela right now and who is running the country.
So the vice president under the Constitution of Venezuela assumes the presidency, obviously in the absence of the president. And since Maduro is now in the United States, about to start his trial process, she's the current leader. But they also requires an election to be held within a certain amount of time. So the question is going to be, is that election going to be free and fair? Is the United States going to promote and basically insist on it being free and fair? And if the opposition, the Maria Machado's party wins, are they going to be willing to put them in place? All questions that aren't answered now, but all certainly that have to be dealt with in the near term under their own constitution.
And the breakout search over the last 24 hours is actually looking back at the last administration. People want to know what the Biden administration did regarding Venezuela.
So mostly it was diplomatic and economic. The Biden administration imposed sanctions. They relieved those sanctions in the run-up to the elections, hoping that they would basically entice Maduro to have a free and fair election and to abide by the results. When that didn't happen, they then reimposed sanctions. They also, of course, really promoted the idea of the opposition party, promoting democracy, replacing the illegitimate government of Maduro. But essentially, that didn't happen. As we can see, there was a lot of criticism that they didn't go far enough from the Republican Party in promoting the opposition, which seems a bit of a change now, considering the idea of bringing back Machado and her opposition party doesn't seem to be as part of the playbook going ahead for the current administration.
All right, Mick Mulroy, thank you.